Ow! Got myself into a little bit of a situation where I have borderline too many frames, and I know that probably sounds daft to a lot of you. I'm slightly spoilt for choice, I suppose the best way to go with it, and it's kind of slowed down my creativity. I find it much easier if I go on eBay or pick up a frame from a friend or find one somewhere, whatever, and then have to put all my energy into it. But in a matter of months, I've picked up tons of bikes, including a few months back where I went to meet Frankie to pick up 3 frames off of him, a Scott, a Rally and a GT. Now the Scott and the Rally are going to come down the line, but the one that I was itching to build was the GT, and I didn't really know where to start with it. All I knew is it had a U brake on it, and the brake posts were those funny ones at slightly different size, so I can't upgrade it to a different brake. It has to be that rubbish U brake that it came with. If I just upset a load of U brake fans, apologise for that, but I wanted to do something with it, and Frankie mentioned, well, when he built it up, he used one of those disc brake adapter thingamajigs, and every time I've seen those, I've been like, not for me. For science, and for just the pure enjoyment of tinkering around and having a laugh, I decided I was going to build it up with disc brakes using one of those weird adapter things that go on the back of the bike. Now I put this on Instagram that I was doing that, and the kind of feeling for this was very mixed. Half of you were very much kind of like, actually half of you were very much like, you've done it before, you've used it. Some of you even currently have one. Some of you have had one on the bike for years and it's been absolutely fine. But other people were pretty upset about it. Mostly about the fact that it shouldn't work or it won't work in their opinion, and it's going to be crappy. And then I even have one comment suggesting that I was doing it because I didn't know how to set up canties. I believe they were joking, but like, I'm doing it for fun. So in the spirit of science, today we are going to build a bike up with a weird adapter on the back of it and see how it goes. I should probably say now, you probably know this if you follow me on Instagram, I've been extremely ill and just disappeared for like over a week. This video was supposed to come out last week, and I was supposed to be finished in it then, but I hadn't quite finished it, got really sick, and then kind of just slapped it together at the end, and so it's probably going to end a little bit abruptly, but we'll work out as we go along. Let's go see what I've been doing. So this is by far one of the crustiest frames I've actually worked on in a while, but this is a GT Pantera aluminium frame, and it's this really cool red that has like an orange undercoat, so it kind of has this weird fluoro red kind of colour. It's quite cool. I've added this BLB seat post and saddle already, and a Snoopy reflector, which I don't know if I keep on there to be honest, and I've already put the rear wheel on, which is got these lovely gravel rings on there as well, so bougie tyres, and a 10-speed cassettes, because we're going to be running 10 speeds on it. Also the brake adapter, and the reason this is on here already with the rear wheel is simply the fact that I didn't even know if it fitted and whether it would work, and at this point I still don't really know, but we're going for it. That's what we're doing. But like I mentioned, this is a CLU brake bike. Frankie did provide me the brake, so if this does all go up, we do have a backup plan, but I know it's fine. It's gonna be fine. First things first is headset, and I've got this lovely green one, which is a kind of ridiculous colour scheme here, but I had one spare, so I kind of think it looks a little bit like Christmas, but we're gonna go for it. I used one of my favourite tools to get this in, which is the trusty bit of wood. My cup press was a bit dodgy and got stuck in a BB the other day, in a headset the other day, and I'm just not going to use it anymore. I'm going to go back to wood. Wood's better. Pretty sure I got this fork on AliExpress. I don't remember the actual listing, but it seems pretty decent. I covered it in stickers for a build I did a while ago. I can't remember which one it was now. Maybe the Saracen Andes. But yes, it's a decent fork. As always, make sure you get your grease in. If you are out of grease at the moment, or any other kind of maintenance products, you do get 20% off on Juice Lube with a code down in my description, so go and check that out. Now, I didn't notice this when I bought this. Thanks, Frankie. But no, I'm joking. There was definitely some sort of repair done, I think. I was showing it to Sam. It is awful welding. But there doesn't seem to be any obviously signs of cracks anywhere. But it's ugly. But also in that kind of beautiful way. So, I mean, I like it. And you can see now the kind of the second colour that's underneath the red, which gives it that fluoro kind of bright color. It's a really good red, and I don't like red bikes. A couple of years back, I bought a set of these cranks, the Trivative ones. I don't know which model these are before anybody asks, but I had a set, really liked them, put them on a bike for my dad, and kind of regret it because I've missed them ever since. Finally found a set the other day, and was keen to put them on this bike. You can probably tell already this it's coming too far out. Basically, I do change the BB size. Basically, that's it really. And you can probably tell that I'm still not quite 100% yet. What I'm trying to say is the fact that the chainring is too far away from the frame, which means the chain line with the cassette is not going to be good enough. So I put a shorter BB on there, and now it is closer to the bike, which means the chain line is going to be better. That's what I'm trying to get across right now. Pedals are DMR V8s. These are classics. I like the flat V2s as well. They're very good. Oh yeah, I put this clip on Instagram of me putting some handlebars on here and asked you to tell me what they were called, and half of you did what I expected and said mental things and the wrong names. Very good. The rest of you just said Jeff, which is what they are, the on-one Jeffs. Also, the top cap is upside down, and Monkey Shred Mark was like, I can't unsee it. I do later on in the video change it to the correct way, and then as soon as he commented on Instagram saying that, I moved it back. Just saying. Oh yeah, I was gonna put an E derailleur on here because we do things like that now. This was sent over by Wheeltop quite some time ago now, so apologies Wheeltop. And I've been dying to put it on something. It is the EDS OX, which is their kind of mountain bike derailleur, and it quite literally just bolts onto the frame itself. Then you put the remote on, and that is it. It is really good. There is an app which I can't show you because I record all my videos on my phone, but essentially on the app you choose which size cassettes you're running, and then you can micro adjust it, and it is just done. It's really good. So adding a chain is very much like adding any other chain. The one thing I did notice was the fact that it wasn't quite lining up with the smallest cog. So there is B limit screws or limit screws on there, so you can adjust the positioning just a tad if necessary, and then yes, put the chain on. I'm not quite sure what has happened at this point. I seem to have not recorded some stuff. At this point you can see that there's a pink hydraulic hose there because I've put some hydraulic disc brake calipers and levers on the bike, and this is all I have of it. This is the footage. What I did do was fit the brakes. They needed a bit of bleeding. They basically weren't working at all. My bleed kit was down at Steyr. I've gone down to Steyr and I videoed myself bleeding the brakes. At least that's what I thought. I don't have that footage. I don't know why. I thought it was here. I can't find it anywhere. So you just have to trust me that I did do that and it didn't do it itself, you know. To Talking about Steyr, I spend quite a lot of time down there these days building my bikes and stuff, especially during the winter because it was wet and cold and everything. So it was nicer to be able to just snip in the workshop and do it in there and stuff. But the sun's been out a lot, which means I've been doing it in the garden, which means, yes, we're talking about stickers, the backyard mechanic stickers are more relevant again, and we have new ones. I sold out of these the other day. I knew I would sell out of these, so I reordered them straight away and they arrived. But I didn't get all of the order. It's a long story. So there's some of these on there, but I have put another order in. So there's a flow of stickers happening at the moment, but if you are interested, you can pick up the backyard mechanic stickers on saveoldbikes.com. But you can also get my favourite sticker I've possibly ever made, which is this one here, which is the proper crusty smiley face dude. Like, it's sick. And this is a very crusty bike, so it needs a proper crusty sticker, so I'll be putting one of these on there as well. Thank you to everybody who does pick up my stickers. It blows me away with all the orders that I get. It also keeps me working, so sorry for sometimes it takes a few days for me to dispatch them. I'm working as fast as I can, but as always, thank you. It's how I fund these bikes basically, so legends. Who's hungry for pizza? I know I am. Now, this is the world famous, apparently, pizza rack from Specialized. It is the best rack I have ever had. I love it. Best ingredients. So fresh. But seriously, I've been wanting to try one of these for ages, so today's the day. Inside the box itself, you've got the actual rack itself and all the bolts you could possibly need. I don't think, oh no, there was one bolt that we'll get to that in a second, but like it is basically all there, which you know I'm a big fan of when it comes to racks. If you can't fit it and you ain't got the bits, then it's pants, but this is not pants. I quite like it. The one thing I couldn't work out in the instructions is it's hard to tell which side these are meant to go. In my mind, it's meant to go this way around, so the pizza slicers, which is what these things are called, are on the inside, but on the instructions, the bolts at the top of the rack look like they're on the inside. Basically, long story short, it didn't look right, but this makes sense to me, and it fits, so this is the way I've done it. This was the one thing that it didn't really work out, was the bolt is one of the ones that goes inside the fork. My fork, the hole's not big enough for this to go inside, so I'm going to have to use a normal nut, which I had to go and find. Luckily I found it, because I would have been furious. But yeah, that's the only thing that's wrong with this, as far as what's inside the box is concerned, at least anyway. Oh yeah, there was another problem. The bolt that came wasn't long enough for the fork, because it was designed to work on the inside. So I had to use this, which is too long, annoyingly. But I don't know what I'm trying to show you here, but it is too long. So I had to find a bolt as well. That's what I was showing you before. Now, the next issue I had, which really infuriated me, was these little pizza slices don't quite reach the bolt holes on this fork. If this fork was a normal fork that had a hole in the side, it usually just had the one in the middle for like racks and fenders. It would pretty much be exactly where the pizza slice is. Because this is a rack that has 2 bolts for cages and mounts and whatever, it's not right. And I tried replacing or moving the pizza slices around a bunch, and no matter which way I did it, it just didn't work. So what I ended up doing, and I can't find anywhere suggest this is okay or not okay, but I bolted one bolt into the fork itself, took the other bolt out of the pizza slice so it was moving, and then bolted it on the other side of the rack. Once I did this on both sides, it was secure and seems pretty strong and rigid, so I don't think it's gonna be a problem. Tell me what you think down in the comments, because I literally just was freeballing this, I'm not gonna lie. The brake pads on these brakes were a little bit ratty, so I found some new ones that I've had knocking about for ages, stuffed those in, and it stops very, very nice now, I must say. But surprisingly, this is about where the video ends. So that evening was the evening that I started. I was sick, very sick, to the point that that illness then slowly took out the rest of the household. It was savage for about a week, but that was where I left it. There was a few bits of tweaking I did afterwards, and some of the stuff I just didn't film because I just didn't feel right for a long time. I've only just kind of come back to normality, if I'm really honest. That aside, it's time to have a look at the bike. The one thing that I wanted to talk about more in this video was the fact that Rockbros recently got in contact with me and asked me if there was anything I needed to help me out with some of my builds. Told them about this bike and said that I was after some panniers. So they did send me out these panniers here. They're completely waterproof and they're up to about 35 litres, so they're huge, really, really big. The quality has blown me away as well. They're way better than I expected. Panniers are kind of panniers, but it's not very often you actually get a set that are actually really good. I've had some white ones I've been using, I don't even know what the brand is, for a long time, and they were quite expensive, but they're all the buckles are breaking on them. They just haven't lasted very long at all. Everything on this, all the harvest stuff, it just feels quality, so it's gonna last a long time. So really appreciate Rockbros for sending these out. I'm gonna talk about them more in the next video because I'm gonna tinker with them a little bit. You'll see what I mean in the next one. But for now, we should go look at the bike. And that's that. That brings us to an end of another build, and this one was an interesting one because it took me ages, and halfway through the build I was really sick, and it took a lot to kind of get motivated again to finish it off. Weird one. This bike was designed to be my beta. It was going to be for like a pub bike, something I can just kind of like ride around on, just pick up parcels and things. Gets trashed, doesn't really matter. One of my subscribers, who I'm going to be building a bike for very soon, we were going to be using a different frame. Have some issues with there. I'll talk about this more in the future, but they saw it and was like, can I have that one? So I've actually started stripping it down already, which is a bit hilarious considering what we do around here, but we've started taking it apart because I'm going to rebuild it again for them and they're going to take it off my hands. So this bike, it was a really weird build, ending very weird, I'm sure, but it's not the end. We're gonna sort it out and change a few things, but I did take it for a couple of little spins, and it's quite a nice frame. It's been a while since I've built an aluminium frame. I always forget how light they are. They kind of feel a little bit like they weigh nothing, especially decent ones, but it's a solid bike. It's really good. But the person that wants this frame now, we have some specific guidelines of how we want to build it, so I need to order some parts and change some things on this, so it's gonna come back again for another build. In the meantime, I have been building up another bike which we'll be talking about next weekend, but talking about next weekend, I have an opportunity for you guys, if you live in London, to win one of my bikes. On the 13th of April, Marlon, or Baby London, he is hosting a bike jumble at his community shop down in Camberwell. I'll put a link to his Instagram in the description down below so you can go learn more about it. But if you are in South London or London in general and fancy coming down and hanging out for the day, essentially you can bring parts down, you can sell parts, you can buy parts, but also it's just a really good place to hang out. I'm going to be bringing a bike down, and everybody who attends the jumble, if they want to, can take a raffle ticket, and at the end of the day I'm going to pull a random ticket, and whoever takes it wins a bike. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, Craig, what bike? The cheap bike build-off bike. So this year's cheap bike build-off bike, the GT Timberline, that one, we're going to give it away. So if you fancy it and you like that build, it's not the most refined thing I've ever built in my life, but it's a definitely good starter. So it'll be a wicked bike to win, I'm sure. So if you fancy that, come down to Marlon's on the 13th. But that really does bring us to the end of the video now. I will be back at 100% in a few more days, and the content will be back to normal. This was a bit of a ropey video if I don't say so myself, and we're going to leave it there. If you're into these kind of videos, we make retro Restomod builds all the time, but we also do some bike reviews and different things as well, cycling related stuff. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, it's a really good time to do it because it's absolutely free and you can click that button just there. And if you cannot wait to the next video, that one there is a particularly good one.